Happy Tuesday. So today I thought we would do a video in regards to book 2, considering a lot of you are now on to book 2. Exciting days. So we need to grab out this one from certificate to book 2, or workbook 2. And we're going to flick to page 10 and we're going to be doing this activity, which is all about personal hygiene and risks. Alright, so the thing I found is that all of these McDonald's question scenarios, the answers that you need to explain the answer are in the questions. There's nothing really, or in the module, there's nothing that is, generally nothing that is ambiguous. So first of all, personal hygiene. So, what is personal hygiene? So personal hygiene is, as a person, am I clean? Am I tidy? So am I showering? Am I wearing deodorant? Am I brushing my teeth? Do I have a clean uniform on? They're probably the first 4 most important things that make up our personal hygiene. So the first question is, why is it important to wash your uniform every shift? Now, I'm sure all of you know the answer to this and you don't need me to give you the answer. But let's think along the lines of, do you want to be the smelly one, or do you want to be standing next to the person that smells? Okay, none of us like to be that person. So let's make sure that we have washed our uniform. It's clean, it's tidy. And obviously, if you don't have access to that for some unforeseen reason, or your washing machine breaks, or unfortunately, your parents aren't allowing you to use the washing machine, come speak to a manager in store. We do have other options and things we can do to help you, especially if you're all of a sudden working 5 shifts instead of 3 and you've only got 1 uniform, or you've only got 2 and you're doing 5 shifts, something like that. Okay, so the reason why it's important is reduce the hygiene risk and also to be clean and professional, because we want to come across to our customers that if we can look after ourselves, then generally we can keep everything else clean. That's the perspective they get. Okay, so now the correct hand washing procedure, that's the next one. Now, hand washing to begin with is so important. The reason for this is our hands, we touch and pick up things, and germs spread easiest via that way. And then we put our hands in our mouth, and that's just the easiest way that germs spread. So it's really important that when we work in the food industry that we are washing our hands regularly, so every half an hour, or we're washing every time we change stations. So especially if you go change a bin, between changing a bin and then wiping a table, you should be going and washing your hands to remove any type of bacteria or other germs that you may have picked up while doing that. So the correct hand washing procedure, so obviously all our hand washes have the swipe, so we need to swipe, then we want to put our hands under, get them wet, then dispense some AMH hand wash onto our hands. We want to get that into a nice lather. So what I mean by lather is when you rub it together, it gets all that bubbly formation. We want to make sure we get between the fingers, up and around the fingernails, okay, and just up the wrist a little bit, because unfortunately that is part of the hands. So we want to do that for about 30 seconds of actually lathering it up and washing it, and then you're going to wash the hands completely off. Cool, so step 1, wet your hands. Step 2, add soap. Step 3, create a lather. Step 4, rub into the hands, fingernails for 30 seconds. Step 5, rinse. Step 6, dry. Okay, whether you use, your restaurant has a blow dryer or paper towel, but either one of those need to be used, okay? Alrighty, so that answers the first 2 questions. The second one is all to do, like this next bit of the scenario or that exercise is all to do with hygiene risks. Now, it very clearly at the bottom of your page here tells you what a hygiene risk is. So just to reiterate, a hygiene risk is anything related to personal hygiene that could be a food safety hazard. So if we read scenario 1, it's talking about Catherine, and it's in the afternoon, and she goes on a break, and when she returns from a break, she hasn't tied her hair back up, and she's not wearing a hat. Now, what's the hygiene risk? So remember, the hygiene risk is anything related to personal hygiene that could create a food safety hazard. So if her hair's not tied back and she hasn't got a hat on, Is it possible that her hair will fall into the food? Yes. So therefore, that is our hygiene risk. Cool. What can we do to reduce this risk? To reduce this risk, all the person Catherine simply needs to do is tie her hair back into a plait or a bun and wear her hat. Okay, so do you need to refer this to the shift manager? Okay, look, if you asked her to put her hat on and tie her hair back and she said, no, I'm not doing that, and didn't do it, then I would go tell the shift manager and get him or her to do it straight away. But if I asked her to put, as a crew person, I said, hey, you forgot to do your hair up, you forgot to put your hat on, or where's your hat at? And then they put their hat, went, oh crap, and went and grabbed it and put it on and then put their hair up. I probably wouldn't go running off to tell the shift manager straight away because you've solved the situation. There's no longer a hazard. It'd be different if she'd been working with no hat and her hair down or her hair out for some period of time, because obviously then there's a risk that it's in the food and the shift manager needs to know about that. Okay. Scenario 2, so we're working in the cafe, you start to feel very sick, you've had a cold, you're getting worse, you're constantly coughing, sneezing and blowing your nose. Yeah, it doesn't look too good, does it? If you're that customer that's buying that coffee, do I really want you making my coffee? Probably not. I don't want your boogers in my drink. Do you want it in yours? I don't think so. Cool. So obviously the hygiene risk is the fact that your nose, for one, is making you sneeze, it's running, you're having to blow it because you just feel disgusting, and you're coughing. So when we cough, we release aerosol drops, and they can actually travel quite a far way. So you could infect people all around you, okay? Not just that one customer or that one coffee, but people within up to 5 meters of you. Okay, so what can we do to reduce this risk? Unfortunately, you need to go home. You need bed rest. Okay, you need the lemon, and you need the tissues and the rug and warm up and then just lay in bed until you feel better. Okay, so does this need to be referred to the shift manager? Yes, because the shift manager needs to send you home because you're a hygiene risk, which then is affecting our food and safety. Alrighty, scenario 3, which is the very last scenario in this module, or this activity, sorry. So you've been asked by the manager to complete a litter patrol in the car park and the surrounding block. You notice there is no litter pick tool to pick up the litter. So is this a hygiene risk? Yes, because obviously you're gonna have to use your hands. What can be done to reduce the risk? You can use a spot sweep, or you're going to put a glove on. Okay, you're not just going to pick it up. And then obviously at the end of it, you're going to wash your hands. Do you need to refer this to the shift manager? Yes, because the shift manager needs to order a new one and organise that through the rostering manager. So yes, they do need to be aware. Alrighty. Now the last part of that activity is the completion of the appearance SOC that you need to print off from me time. Now please, please, please remember that it needs to be the full SOC. It must have comments. So if it's got no comments on it, please don't print that one off. Go ask a crew trainer to do a proper one and then insert it in your book. Awesome. All right. Well, I hope that answered any questions in regards to that question. And feel free to comment any questions you have, feedback, what you liked about the video, what you didn't. Cool, what you want to know for the next video. All right. Have a good day, guys. Bye.